Hi, welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to create a deep house track with a groove inspired by ANOTR style. We start by setting the tempo of the track. For this project, I've chosen 128 BPM of perfect pace to achieve an energetic groove while keeping that deep house essence. Now we move on to designing the drums. I've already set up 3 MIDI channels with the basic drum patterns, kick, clap, and hats. This gives us a solid rhythmic foundation. Now we're going to find a sample for our kick. This one hits nicely. I like how it sits in the mix. Let's move on to the clap. Great, this one has that dry, classic character we wanted. Now let's choose a short hat. Nice, it has just the right snap to keep the rhythm tight and clean. Let's listen to how our basic drum structure sounds together. Alright, now it's time to look for a top loop. We're aiming for something with congas and percussive elements, something that adds movement, texture, and that tribal touch that brings the groove to life. Now we're going to choose some head loops that complement the groove. We're looking for loops with nice swing and rhythmic texture that add movement without overcrowding the mix. Awesome, friends! I'm really liking what we're hearing. The groove is taking shape and getting stronger. We're making great progress. Now we're going to build the bass using 2 layers. The first one will focus on mid and high harmonics, adding color and presence to the groove. We'll apply cytokine compression to this bass layer, using the kick as the input signal. This helps the bass breathe with the kick and keeps the mix clear. The second layer will be our sub, centered on the lowest frequencies. This part will give depth and weight to the rhythmic foundation. With these 2 layers properly balanced, we get a powerful, well-defined bass full of character. On a MIDI channel, I load up the Serum plugin and start browsing for a synth preset that matches the vibe of the track. I'm looking for something with texture, something that supports the groove without overpowering the bass. Now we're going to add some chords. I'll be using one of my favorite presets for this part because it brings that warm, immersive tone that fits perfectly with the groove we've been building. I'm also going to add an auto filter effect from Ableton to this layer, and automate it using an LFO. This gives the sound more movement and energy, creating subtle variations that enhance the overall texture of the track. Now I'm going to add a short lead that hits right on the second kick and just before the third. This placement adds tension and groove to the rhythm, keeping it interesting without overcrowding the mix. Now we're working on the break and the build-up. At the start of the break, I'll automate the bass auto filter to turn on and off at key moments. This creates a more rhythmic and dynamic effect, perfect for keeping things interesting while the beat's energy drops. I'll make some structural adjustments by removing elements gradually to reduce the energy and build tension before going back into the drop. I'll make some structural adjustments by removing elements gradually to reduce the energy and build tension before going back into the drop. I'll also add a snare roll just before the return, along with down filter, up filter, and crash effects. You'll find all these elements in my favorite loop packs from Beat the Dip, Minimal House and Tech House. Download links are available in the video description. And just like that, our break is nearly complete. You can experiment by adding different sounds, trying out new effects, or even going for a slightly different vibe in this section to surprise the listener and keep the track dynamic. Now we're going to add some subtle textures, additional percussion, head loops, or top loops. These elements help fill in space, add rhythmic movement, and keep the listener engaged throughout the track. Remember, less is more. We're picking sounds that actually contribute without overcrowding the mix. I've got all these elements in my favorite packs from Beat the Dip. Links are in the description. Now I'm going to use some vocal glitches short, chopped vocal samples to create atmosphere and harmonic texture. With the right reverb, delay, or filter processing, these sounds add character and fill in space without stealing attention from the groove. I'm going to add some reverb to these vocals to create a more immersive atmosphere. I might also use a delay or echo effect if we want to generate a more spatial or rhythmic vibe depending on what the track is asking for. And that's a wrap for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed the process as much as I did, and that it inspires you to create your own music. You'll find all the sounds and resources I used in the description. Don't forget to leave a like, comment if you have any questions or ideas, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next videos.